applications, getting into PT school, the steps, the processes, and hopefully these tips and tricks make things a little bit easier for you and you can't say I didn't tell you so. I'm in PT school, you guys. Like, in no particular order, I'm gonna start off with the submission date. Don't miss the application submission date, please. Please. Right on PTCAS. Oh wait, what is PTCAS? It's how I applied to PT school. It's how everyone I know applied to PT school. That's just the way the applications go. We use PTCAS and you upload everything right into that website, you send it off, and I wish it was as easy as it sounded. So the submission date, you don't want to miss the application deadline because they will genuinely not take your application and you can't get in. Look what you did. And that application submission date, it's going to be right on PTCAS for you when you click on the school and you add it to your list of schools that you want to apply to. You can even look it up on the PTCAS directory and it'll tell you when the application is due. But not only are you getting in the application itself, like you also have to make sure that application is complete. So what that means is that your transcripts are in, whether you went to one school and you transferred, every single school that you've been to, whatever courses you took there, on that transcript, you have to send them all in. And you have to make sure that it matches what is actually on the transcript. Because on PTCAS, you have to go and like handpick it from the transcript and then put it into the prerequisite file that is under that school. And you have to do that for every single school that you apply to. So yeah, for submissions, you want to make sure that everything is complete before you send it off, because that's the easiest way to get rejected, not having everything complete. That goes for letters of recommendation, that goes for your transcripts, any supplemental material, all that good stuff. It needs to be in before the deadline and you send it off. Just because the submission date is what it is doesn't mean that they don't already have everybody that they want in class. Your spot is not guaranteed just because the application deadline says hypothetically like June 1st you have to have your application in. They could have already filled up their 30 seats or 20 seats by February. That's the truth. Some programs have a 3+3 program, a 4+3 program, and they already have half of the students that have earned their spot already solidified to go into the new incoming like PT student class because they were a part of that 4+3 or 3+3 program. So the earlier you get your submission in is the better. That way you can go right ahead and after you send off your application and they review it and they're like, okay, we want to move forward with this candidate. They're doing their big one. Let's interview them. You want to get all of that stuff out the way as early as possible. It just makes it easier for you in the long run. I think prerequisites are almost hand in hand with application deadlines because you can't apply if you don't have your prerequisites. What's a prerequisite? A prerequisite is a required course that you have to take before starting that program. The school needs to make sure that you've passed it. Not even just passed. You need to excel. We want A's, okay? You have to make sure that there's some, they need to be beneficial. You can't just take the class and then just pass. No, C's get degrees. C's don't get you into PT school. Who said that? The course might be passing to your current university or the university you went to, but you also have to be mindful about where you're applying. Like, what do they want? Like, what's their average? What scores are they really accepting when it comes to those prerequisites? Are they a program that just takes students that has A's and B's? Like, do they allow A's, B's, and 1C? You need to be mindful of those things when you're taking those prerequisites. So prerequisites are extremely important. If you don't have them, you can't get in. Talk to your guidance counselor. Say, hey, this is the school that I'm looking at and these are the classes that they want me to take. I need to get those into my schedule. Tell them what you need and have them help you as much as possible. One school might want you to take prerequisites A, B, C, and D, but another school might want you to take prerequisites like elemental P. Majority of them do end up wanting the same thing because you're going into a career that requires you to have knowledge of things like anatomy and physiology. So you definitely want to sort through the schools that you see yourself applying to and go through those prerequisites and say, hey, what am I taking right now? What have I already taken? What do I need to take, and how can I fit that into my time at the university that I'm at right now? Some schools may allow you to have a course or two in progress while you're applying to the school. Your acceptance then becomes contingent on how you do in the remainder of those courses, which only makes sense. In the chance that you need to retake a prerequisite, you need to recognize that as early as possible so that you're not trying to cram it in with the rest of your schedule when it comes time closer for your application. Coming from someone who had to retake 2 courses to get a better grade for the university that I wanted to apply to, if I would have just done it right the first time, I wouldn't have had to do it again. So learn from my mistakes and get it done. The better that you do in your prerequisites, it just alleviates a little bit of pressure when it comes to you being a good candidate for the program. Next, letters of recommendation. What's a letter of recommendation? Letters of recommendation are something that the universities that you're applying to will utilize to see who can vouch for your character. That letter should be a synopsis of the time you've known that person and the skills that you've showed them that they can vouch for, of why you would be a good candidate for the program. And it should be hyping you up. So you want to ask someone that you've spent some time with, that you know, who knows you, who's seen you through some different stages, and they can vouch for how you've overcome your challenges, what they've seen you experience and how you've handled it, and basically just vouching for the type of character of a person that you are and why that program should accept you. So you want that letter to come from someone who will write it wholeheartedly to see you win. However, that letter of recommendation, it can't come from your family member. A lot of schools do not want a letter of recommendation from your family member. Of course, your family member is gonna give you a good letter of recommendation. I remember that when I was applying, when I went and hit letter of recommendation folder and I was getting ready to attach people to that letter of recommendation folder, it would say valid letter of recommendations can come from a university professor or a doctor that you shadowed, something like that, of that nature. If you're gonna ask a professor for a letter of recommendation, you don't want to just ask someone and you didn't even go to their class. You want them to know you so that they can vouch for you. Because I can't write a letter of recommendation and I only seen you in my class twice. You want to ask a professor whom you've built a rapport with for that letter of recommendation. They've seen you excel on your exams, they've seen you grow, you're asking questions, you're engaged. They can vouch that you're a good student. The doctor that you've been shadowing for your observation hours, they've seen you come in on time, you're asking questions, you're helping out when you can, like with whatever it is that you're allowed to do at the time, because you can't practice PT. So, whatever it is that may be, like, you just look enthusiastic and you're into it. When you hit the folder and you insert the referrer's name and email and contact information, PTCAS then goes and sends them an email request to write that letter of recommendation on your behalf. And that goes back to the whole umbrella of deadlines. That also needs to be done on time. You can't ask someone the week of that you have to send off your application and say, can I get a letter of recommendation I need by tomorrow? No, you can't do that, because People have lives, they have their career, they have their day-to-day, they probably have families. You have to be respectful of other people's time, and you have to give them notice. The referrer also has to go in and submit it to PTCAS by the deadline date, before the deadline date, so that whenever you're ready to send off your application, that it's done. Next topic is supplementary applications. Some schools require you to do a second application, a couple of extra steps, things that they want to hear back more about from you, like an extra essay or a set of questions, things of that nature, to be sent directly to them after the PTCAS application. So, yes, you have to pay for the PTCAS application. Yes, you have to pay for the supplementary application. No, that does not guarantee you a spot. So, whether you do or do not want to do that supplementary application, it depends on you, and it depends on if you really want to fight for your spot in that school. With the supplementary applications, you will know, like, based off of the information that you see on PTCAS and you read up about the school, whether they do or do not require a supplementary application. I don't recall ever not knowing that one was needed based on the school. I have had schools email and say, thanks, we've received your PTCAS application. Here's the link to the supplementary application, or don't forget to submit your supplementary application, stuff like that. All in all, it is nobody's responsibility but yours to get you into PT school. The application team for that school, your dream school, whichever school, they're not gonna do it for you. They don't even know you. They're not gonna call you every morning and be like, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. Hey, we're missing this. No, get it done. You're an adult. You're grown. You are applying to graduate school. Get it together. However, they will be there for you in the process. So reach out to them on PTCAS. I can remember that literally every school had the contact information for the program director or someone of that nature to get you in contact with who you need to be in contact with to set up some sort of meeting to introduce yourself and say, hey, I know I'm a good candidate for your program and here's why. Now, we're gonna talk about the lingo that I just used. Peep how I didn't say, I think I'm a good candidate for your program. No, I know I'm a good candidate for your program because I have this and this and this. I offer this and this and this, and I am this kind of this and this and this person who is going to be a great student and okay? Okay. That is your time to show off. They want to see why you're a good candidate for the program and tell them why you know you are a good candidate for the program. Thank you. All the work that you've done in undergrad, all of the observation hours and volunteering and PT club membership leading, event going, all those things that you have accumulated in your undergrad experience, that is your time, along with your grades, but that is your time to really show it off. I've handled this and this extracurricular while being a STAR student and while getting this and this and this awards and all those things. That is your time to showcase that. This is prior to your submission, by the way. Reaching out, setting up those Zoom calls, and really allowing them to put a face and a personality to your application. Get me? At that point, you're more than a paper and a transcript and a couple of numbers and all that stuff. No, you're a person to them now. They recognize you. They're like, oh my gosh, like Kiara stood out to me so much during that meeting I just had with her. Let me look out for her application soon enough. Consider something like that like a pre-interview or an interview in general, because some schools don't require like an interview process and some do. So that either way, it just gives someone on the application committee the opportunity to see who you are, meet you, and vice versa. You get to see how they interact with you, and you get to ask them questions as well and say like, so what does your program offer that might not be listed on the website, or is there anything specific that you'd like to highlight about your program that you feel would be really influential to my learning experience as I grow into a future physical therapist? Yeah, I feel like this video is pretty good. So share it with everyone you know who might be applying to PT school. If you are already in PT school and you like this video, share it with someone who you know might want to start applying to PT school, because there are steps and we're putting down the building blocks for our careers, one at a time, all together. Yes. This is coming from Kiara Seeley, student physical therapist. I am so happy that I am able to say that after 4 years of undergrad. I am in my first year, second semester, and I'm gonna give you guys as much information as I can about the steps that I took, mistakes that I've made, tips and tricks, and all that good stuff throughout my years of being a student physical therapist to help you on your way to being where I am now. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. I hope you didn't skip. Don't forget to turn on those post notifications, subscribe, like, comment, send this video to 5 people that you know. Let's increase our PT world. Thank you guys so much for watching. I encourage all of you to stay safe and stay positive. Later.